Hello, welcome back to Crafters TV. Welcome back to a really special show. It's always exciting when we bring you launch days here on Crafters TV, but today it's something a little bit different for you because yes, it is a launch day, but we are going to be featuring predominantly products from an amazing company called Dreamees, who I love and know so well. And I know if you're seeing these products for the first time, you're going to absolutely adore them. I mean, I'm going to tell you already, it's an elbows out, push your way to the checkout kind of show already. If you want the haunted house that was featured earlier, I'd say get it in your basket and get it checked out because it could go any moment now, essentially. It is so busy. I'll tell you more about that in a second. I am not here on my own. The headmistress of Crafters TV is back with me. Jan Brown's here. How are you, Jan?
Good, thank you, Joe. Honestly, I can't wait to get, I've always got itchy fingers, but this one's particularly. Absolutely loved playing with this over the last few days and so much to show you. But like we've just said, it is very busy on our website. So yeah, I'm hoping we can get everything into the show for you. I've actually just got the tags. If you were watching this morning, you'll have seen me make the Halloween tag from the tag kit that we've got on the show this morning. And then I'd just done the little one as more of a harvest sort of October autumnal kind of thing with the little one. So those were demoed. Well, this one was done. This one was demoed this morning on Wake Up Call. So I'm not going to revisit the tags during the show, but I think Joe's got some extra samples to show you. And then hopefully we can fit as much as we can in with the rest of the products for you this afternoon. So yeah, can't wait to get started, Joe.
Yeah, we're already having to sort of rejig and move things around because things are going so quickly. Now we also have a really special guest with us as well via Skype, someone that I know and adore, and I know you're going to love her as well. And I know she looks very innocent, but honestly, do not be fooled by this, but I wouldn't melt exterior that she gives off. Not really, I'm only joking. She is absolutely awesome. However, she has frozen. I can hear you, Carol. I just can't see you, unfortunately. I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes, Carol. Lots of you saying hi and tuning in already today. Lynn is in and saying hi. Crystal's our social media superstar for this hour. Pam's in, Evelyn, Mariah. Who else we got here? Crafty Angie, Deborah Spencer. She is back. Carol is here with us. Carol, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages.
Hi, Joe. You okay?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. So great to see you. How you been? How you keeping? How's things?
Yes, wonderful, thank you. All wonderful in the land of Dreamees.
So pleased to hear that. Now, obviously, Carol, I am hugely familiar with your company and what you do. But for anyone that is new, hasn't seen you before, who are the Dreamees? What are they all about?
Right, the Dreamees started about 11 years ago, and it was my daughter Hayley and myself that started that, so to say 11 years ago, and we started off with the stamps and CDs. That was all we was bringing to the craft market at that time, and then as we progressed and got bigger and bigger, then obviously we went into MDF, and then Jimmy, who is Hayley's partner, he came on board, and we've not looked back since then. So 11 years on, and it's booming. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm so pleased that we've got you here with us at Crafters TV, Carol. I don't know how long for today for, because I'm going to have to go and get the bell from the cafe in a moment, because we are going to have a sellout any second. Got just a little bit of backstory. When myself and Carol have worked together before, whenever a sellout, she gets dings a little bell. She's told me today in prep for the show that she doesn't have the bell with her. So there is one in the cafe. I will be going to get it, Carol. Don't worry, I've got you back. Right, I will be popping in on you again really soon, Carol, to see some of the awesome finished samples you've got there. Let me go through what's available for you on the show. What's available for now is what I would say. We're going to start with this down here. Now, this is absolutely beautiful. It is your Dreamees opening 8x8 box frame. These are amazing because it's nice and deep as well, so if you want to put dimensional objects in here, you can, and the door on here opens and closes. You are going to be able to make two here as well, so you've got your round aperture that you can see here. There is also a square aperture. You get both of them for that price. Now, the great thing is, even though we're talking about third-party products, we still offer you your Club Inspired discount here at Crafters TV as well. So yes, you can still use that platinum discount, which is excellent. So make sure you grab that. Very busy there. Half the stock of that one has gone. You are loving that. Next up, we're looking at the layering tags. Now, these are fantastic because these go together beautifully. You've got options. You can either leave them flat as these two are here, or what you can do is play around. So this is actually a flat tag here, sorry, the aperture tag on the front with a flat tag on the back, or you can layer it up together like Jan did in the earlier show, and you can make multiples of these as well, which is fantastic. $8.79 or $12.79 for platinum members if you want those. I do need to let you know half the stock there has already sold out and gone as well. So very, very busy. Lots of you shopping ahead since that earlier wake up call show. The next one I've got for you, you're going to love this. It is the autumn wreath that we're going to be looking at. I think this is absolutely stunning. It's the same colour as my top, isn't it? Look at that. Very cool. It's as if I knew. It's as if I knew. So just give you an option there of a different way that you could maybe put that together. It's completely up to you when it comes to colours. There are embellishments included, but think about bringing in even little things. I'm thinking like mini acorns and little bits from the garden, little bundles of twigs that could be decorated on there. Maybe it's going to be Halloween, maybe it's going to be Thanksgiving, maybe you're going to turn it into something quite festive and Christmassy. It is up to you. 70% of this though has gone already, so you will need to be quick for that as well. We do have extra embellishments. Now the embellishments are great because they're going to be able to go in a whole host of different things. Just a few different ways of using them here for you. So I've got a card here that's got some of the little wooden embellishments on. I think it's really lovely to be able to mix those medias up and add those onto there. Or of course you could be adding these onto your artboards. Maybe you want to add them and pop them onto your tags. The whole thing all is going to work really, really well together. And it's a whole collection you get there. You're actually getting 3 sheets of MDF here as well. So you can see there all of that is coming your way for that awesome price. However, shut the front door because 70% of that has gone. The next one I'm going to tell you about is limited stock, and there are less than 50 of them to go around. It could sell out literally any minute. If you want this, I mean, look at it. It is stunning. If you want it, you need to put it in your basket now and check it out. I don't even think you've got time to build a basket. Just get it in your basket and check it out if you want it. It's the Haunted House MDF kit. It makes one $10.99 or $15.99. Even I would love to have a go at this. You know when something just captivates you and you think, oh, I've got to give that a go? This is definitely that item. Less than £9 or $13 for platinum members, which is absolutely stunning. And that would go beautifully actually with the next item I'm going to share with you. I think these are so cool. If you were imagine having like a Halloween party and having these as like place names or something. I think it would be really cool. What you actually get in here, you get 2 of the pumpkins, 2 of the ghosts, and 2 of the, what are we calling these?
Gravestone.
I don't know why I didn't.
Like
I was going to call it a headstone. And I thought
I
thought it was a bit morbid, but gravestone is equally as morbid.
It is what it is, Joe.
I guess. 30% of these ones have sold out and gone. $6.99 to get. That is an awesome price. That's less than £1 per piece for platinum members, which is incredible. Now, something else that I know you're going to love from the Dreamees is their incredible papers. Now, 48 design papers in each of these pack, double-sided, 120 GSM as well. So really good for mats and layers. $8.99 or $13.49. That's the Autumn Haze, 10% gone. Floral Harvest is available. 10% of that one has gone as well. And Positively Plum is this one here. That's 10% gone as well. Gilmore says, the only Dreamees item I didn't order is the headstones because I didn't want my 10-year-old to put my name on one of them. Love that. Now, something else you might want to go for, which will go great, especially with the box frame in the house, are the Dreamees D-Lights. Now, 10% of these are gone. Pack of 2 on quite a nice length cord as well, so really good for being able to move and drape around your projects, which is amazing. So do grab those. Going to give you forewarning, if you want the house, less than 25 now to go around. There's loads of you checking out on those. It will be the first one. I'm going to have to go and get the bell from the cafe, Jan. So whilst I do that, do you want to give us some inspiration?
Yeah, we're going to start with that 8-inch box, I think, the frame. So just to explain what you're getting for your money, you're going to get 2 parts to this. So there is one which gives you the square frame in the centre, and it has an opening mechanism, which I'm going to show you how this works so that you can open into the box. And then the second one has got a circular frame, which I'll show you in a second. So you're going to get the back of the box, or the base of the box for want of a better word. And then you're also going to get the pieces that form the edges. So if I lay this out like so, you'll be able to see how this goes together. Now these ones are similar, but they've got the little extra piece on. And this is what the, let me just get it the right way around, what the door is going to fit into. All right, so I'm just working on there like so. So this would be the bottom one here, and this would be the top one here. Yep.
Great thing to make for a 21st Jan, this, with a key, you know, key to the door.
Key to the door. I'm thinking maybe weddings, you know, like you put the horseshoes in for weddings, anything like that. And I've actually gone ahead and done the circular one so that we can work on that one today. And all I've used, again, I'll just grab the big bottle. I've used my tacky glue. I do like to put these together with a little bit of glue. So our tacky glue by Kalal, again, is decanted into my little applicator because it's got the fine tip on. And I just put glue. I'm not going to stick this one together because I've got the other one already prepared. I usually put glue along all the tabs. So for example, here, you'd have a little bit of glue here, and that's going to stick to the base. And then when we're ready, we will put glue onto the little tabs at the side. So the first bit would be to build, the sides up here. Okay, and you'd have the two pieces on like so. And I'm just going to try and let this stand rather than sticking this one together. And then you're going to do exactly the same, but once you get to this edge, all the little tabs that stick out, little bit of glue, and then it just clicks together beautifully. And I think you've got this. I've used lots of MDF products in the past, but I think with Dreamees, the precision is absolutely second to none. You've got every confidence that that's all going to fit together beautifully. And then just before your glue sets, this one has got the little notch here at the top and bottom. And just before the glue sets, I like to just pop that one in to the little circles on the edge of those two pieces. Now it's trying to separate because I've not glued it, but you get the idea there. I just want that one to notch into there. Go on, you can do it. There we go.
To put this together then, Jan.
Pardon?
Quite simple. Anyone could put this together.
It is, honestly. It is fairly straightforward, but I'm just trying to get it in together. That's it, while it's still not glued. But then you can see the idea here. I'm hoping it's not going to fall here now, where this bit will actually open, and you get like a deep framed book. So before that all falls apart, I'm just going to separate that, and I'm going to bring the one in that I've started to decorate, because we've got so much that I want to fit into the show. I've got lots of bits prepared, and I've actually used this. I fell in love with this as soon as I saw it. Positively Plum. You've got 48 sheets of double-sided paper going on here in the most gorgeous shades. So I've taken some pieces out of here.
It's a bit French, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. I just love the designs and the fact that, you know, you've got some really nice florals in there, but matching those, you know, you could put those gorgeous florals. Let me find the one at the back with the spots. You've got the plain one there that looks as if it's been inked. It all coordinates, and I was really, really pleased as well to see that when I flick through, you've got the green in there. I think the purple and the green, or lilacs and greens, is a really nice match. So what I've done is I've taken pieces of these, and these are 8 by 8 in design. And I'm going to bring this one now. I've done a lot of work on this one ready because I wanted to get through as much as I can. So this one's been stuck together. And you can see this has got the circle aperture as opposed to the second one that's got the square. So you've got one of each in that kit. You can decide which or how you want to use them. So you can see that I've taken pieces from the paper pad there. You can recognise those pieces. I've lined all the inside of the box. If I just stand that up a little bit, you can see where I've lined the inside here. Okay, now I actually put these pieces on the inside and the base before I stuck it together, just to make sure that everything had a nice neat finish. And then I've decorated the inside of here, and I've just used one of my circle dies. So what I did was actually put this in situ and drew through the hole. And then I've matched up one of my circle dies that was the closest to it. And then if you were watching this morning, I was using the sanding tool to literally just go around the edges and neaten it off. So just to get that nice finish, and then it will take the ink really nicely as well. So I've just inked around the aperture there. And then again, I've done the same on the front there. Just added a little bit of sparkly washi tape that I'd got in my box just as a decoration. And I'd also got these in my stash as as well, the little silver corners, just to make it look a bit more sort of realistic. And then the outside ones, I've done the purple dots, the polka dots on there, and then just cut some scraps of mirror card to make, you know, like the boxes often have those little corner protectors on. Just little strips of mirror card that I've cut up. Now I've deliberately embellished this with things that are not, I know it sounds silly when I say not on the show, but I want you to think about the fact that you can use what you've got in your stash. Such a lot of the other demos are based around the product. Obviously this is the key product, is the box itself. And I've taken elements now that we're actually going to pop on here to decorate this, that you could easily have at home. So I've just done a slightly smaller matten layer to go inside, and I've raised this on a bit of foam. You've got a lot of depth here. If I just measure this for you, we're looking at about, let me just have a little look there, nearly 2 inches in depth on the box there. So you've got a lot of space here. If you wanted to build up, I can just envisage maybe a really nice display of our foam flowers or something like that would look gorgeous in there. If you wanted to save this and gift it for something like Mother's Day, you could use the artboard collection that we've got on with all the autumn embellishments in it if you wanted to add those in. And I think Joe's got one across the way that we can have a look at that's got all those on. But what I did for as soon as I saw this, I knew exactly what I wanted in the centre of here, and I've got a bit of a crush on it at the minute. I did have it with me last time, but I know a lot of you bought this when it was here with us, the statement butterfly, but I just thought that was perfect to literally go inside there, and you can see that now through.
Decorated it purple and put a butterfly in it. I mean, who would have thought, Jan?
Who would have thought? It's not pink, Joe. It's not pink. But I just thought that, as I say, I fell in love with that paper pad. So again, I've just picked colours. I've gone with a layer of craft card, layer of purple, layer of silver. That's going to be the theme for it. So that one's going to stick on the inside. And then I've literally, you've all got flower dies out there. I know you have. I know you've got them in your stash. So I've literally I didn't use the foam flowers. I've sat and made some paper flowers. And this is an old die that I'd got from one of the original signature collections. I just literally had a look through and decided what I wanted with it. And I'm going to pop together a little arrangement along here. So again, things you've always heard me talking about, my box of gubbins. Ben laughs at me every time I say it because he didn't know what gubbins were to start with. But yeah, that box of bits that you all keep. So in that box of bits, I always have bits of cheesecloth which I use in my journaling as well. So again, I'm just going to pop this underneath here just to start it off, to give it a bit of texture.
I just need to let everyone know, Jan, there are more people trying to get the haunted house than there are actually haunted houses available.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
So it really
Joe.
is your last call. The next 6 people that check out will get their hands on it.
Oh my goodness.
So it really
I
is
hope we
crunch
can
time.
still bring you some
There
demo at the
are
end.
Loads more of you trying to get hold of it than we actually have in stock. So if it is in your basket, check it out. You're one of the lucky ones.
So I've just used a little bit of hot glue just to tack that in a couple of places because the rest of the bits will hold it down. So again, you know, using anything that you've got in your stash, I've gone with some foliage. And this, again, you've heard me talking about scrap busting. I've still got that bag of scraps that I'm trying to get through. So all the little pieces there. I've got a couple of green sets there. And again, this is from an older Crafter's Companion die. And then I've got a couple that are slightly different coloured there. And again, I've just popped these through and I did all the cutting through my MIDI. I'm a bit in love with my MIDI at the minute. I go through phases where different machines have different sort of focal points, and at the moment it's the MIDI. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to start and stick this and make an arrangement with these, Joe. So I don't know whether we want to have a look at this or whether there's that other sample that you've got across
certainly.
there.
Let's just see that one that Jan was talking about. It's this one just here, so you can see some of those awesome embellishments in there. You can see the bell as well. It is about to get rung for the first time because that haunted house is about to go. Lots of people loving this, and also all of the Dreamees products that we bring. Mary says, I love the haunted house. Susie T saying the haunted house is great. She's loving the papers as well. You can't go wrong with Dreamees products. They are always fabulous and great quality, says Lisa. Gilmore's loving the box. Mariah loves the box frame, says it's so cool. Alison is patiently awaiting for her first ever order to come after the weekend. Oh, I'd love to know what you're expecting, Alison. Annie loving those plum papers. Deborah says she can't wait to get the box. Very excited. And the corner decorations, Mariah's particularly loving as well, Jan. Crafty Anne says, oh, Jan, I love that. I ordered this box and I have the statement butterfly, so I'll be making this
there you
as
go.
is. Mariah says, Jan mentioned journaling. Does she do junk journals? I'd love to see them.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think you've brought them in before, haven't you?
I've got an art journal.
An art journal, that's
I do
the one.
my art journal. I brought that with me. I have made junk journals. I have made
What's a
travellers.
junk journal then?
Junk journaling is basically like, it's almost like recycling products. So it's making a journal that you can work in, or that you can put photos in again, or you can, you know, sort of, some people do travellers notebooks where they document a holiday or a visit, something like that. But a lot of it is using recycle. Excuse me.
Wasn't you, is it? Did you hear that at home? Did you hear that at home? What did you have for breakfast, Jan?
Tell my husband we should tell those mushy peas last night.
No more beans for Jan, please.
What was it? It sounded like one of those air horns.
There's so for clarity, there is a haulage yard behind us on the other side, and every now and then someone will give their air horn a bit of a blast. I love that.
That's made me cry now. Oh, I can't see. Oh, that was funny. I was like, oh, excuse me. Oh dear. Right.
The funny thing will be if it wasn't picked up on our microphones.
Wasn't it? Oh, it's a shame. You should have heard it. It was like an air horn. It just went. Oh my days, that made me chuckle.
Oh no, people at home heard it. It's fine.
Did
They don't think
they?
we're losing our minds yet.
Oh gosh, that did make me giggle. That. Whew, crikey. Right, I'm just going to tuck these little bits under the edge there, just to add a bit more sort of foliage. And again, you know, you can build these up as much or as little as you wish. I always say with embellishing, it's down to personal taste. You know, it might be thinking about the person that you're sending it to.
How do you know when to stop, Jan?
That's
what I would always
the
think.
biggest trick, Joe. It's, you're not asking the right person. Knowing when to stop. I am the world's worst. It's like, Jan, step away from the project, because I could just go on. And sometimes I have to force myself to actually stop what I'm doing, because I get so carried away with it. And that's the hardest thing, I think, is knowing when to stop embellishing. But can you have too much embellishment?
Well, I guess you can always take a bit off, can't you?
Well, it depends how well you've stuck it on, I
guess
suppose,
so.
doesn't it? I don't know, but yeah, these are all ones that I've just done through my die cutting machine, and these little tiny ones are just an old paper punch that I've got. And I wanted to do this one, as I say, to show you, you know, that you can actually use. I hadn't planned to start with this one, but you guys have bought so much of the stock that we've had to have a bit of a jig. So we were going to work our way through and then show you that you could actually use things that you'd got in your stash. But then we've had to have a little bit of a rejig, so I'm hoping everybody's managed to get well. I did predict on social media that house was going to go. So again, just using some of the stamps from the stash, from my stash, I'm going to have just for you on the outside. And again, I've just curled this a little bit so that I'm just sticking it in a couple of places there with the hot glue. Whoops. And that one's going to go across there. And then on the inside, we're going to put that gorgeous butterfly. But can you see how easy that mechanism? It's just such a simple idea, but you've got the facility to open and close. Now, what I thought, my immediate reaction when I saw this was mini album. You know, if you really wanted to go the whole hog, you could actually make a mini album that was two. So that's something else that I make as well. I don't know where I find all the time, but I do like making the mini albums to put the photos in and things like that. So again, I'm just going to continue with the hot glue just because I've got that out. And I want to pop this so that we can see the butterfly through that gap, through the aperture in there. I'm making most of the opportunity, Joe.
Oh, you really are. Check you out.
I've got
You're
him
on
back
board.
now, got him back. And then I've just got another one, and this is again an old stamp set that I've got from one of the signature collections. If nothing changed, there'd be no butterflies, and I just think it's a really nice sentiment. So we're just going to pop that one right down in the corner there. I don't want too much of it to show through the front. But just, and again, I've just carried on with the hot glue, but again, if you prefer to use tape, it would work with the tape on the, because I'm only working onto paper here. So that one's just going to go on the inside there.
Nice to decorate that side of the inside. I hadn't thought about that, the back, decorating the back of the door like that, Jan.
And then I had got a little, I might pop that just at the top there. I've got a little tiny piece of twine there that I wanted to, and that's just to pick up the craft card that I'd used as well, just to sort of link it all together. And we'll pop that one just on the top there. And then again, you know, I'd brought some of the extra pearls if you wish. I'd just got a few of those. You can dot 1 or 2 of those round if you wish, but you get the idea with that. And I just think what a beautiful gift, even if it's just to showcase something on the inside of there. But like I say, you could actually make a set of stationery to put inside it and gift it, you know, something like that. It could be, like I say, a little mini album inside. You might want to build it up with other decorations. The other thought of this was actually putting acetate on the back of here and building up the front to make the shaker element. You know, your mind goes berserk and it's like, right, calm down, Jan. Let's see what we can actually demo in the time you've got on the show. But yeah, so many different ideas. And don't forget, you're getting both of them. You're going to get the same mechanism with the circle aperture and then the one with the square. So they go together in exactly the same manner. And if you do buy this and you do have a go with it, don't forget to show some pictures. We love to see your pictures, whether you send them to us at Crafters TV. I know a lot of you pop them on my wall on social media, which is lovely. I do try my best to keep up with that and comment on them. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Just one way, one of many, many ways that you could embellish this one. So if I give it a turn round, you can see it stood up there. And then we'll have a look through the doorway. We've got that gorgeous little butterfly inside there.
Love that. Really, really love it. Mariah was asking whether there's anything to hang it, or if you wanted to hang it, how would you, Jan, that?
It's not mega heavy, even though it's made of MDF, it's not mega heavy. The only thing I would consider if I was hanging it is to maybe somehow work out how to fasten the
I've
front.
got an idea, Jan.
A nice little catch on the front. I know you can buy metal embellishments that would do that, because otherwise you might end up with this falling open.
Could you...
But certainly
you
could
embed the ribbon in here, in the side? Do you know what I mean? So attach the ribbon to the inside here, and then have it so it's
I don't know
coming
whether
through the
ribbon
seam.
would be strong enough, because whereas it's not heavy, you are working with wood. So I'd be tempted to maybe put something on the back that you could hang it on a nail or something, like, you know, like hanging a picture.
Yes.
I think I'd be tempted to go with something that you could stick on here with a decent
Well, you can
glue.
get those little sort of stick-on,
or the sticky ones,
hooks,
yeah, that
can't
don't
you?
leave any marks, something like that, if you were going to stick it up so on the wall somewhere or hang it on the wall. But yeah, just be aware that, as I said, you would need to find some way to stop this opening while it was hung up. But yeah, it would look fantastic, wouldn't it?
Beautiful, absolutely love it. One of so many different ways that you can do it, and that's what I think you love about these Dreamees MDF items is they just give you the sort of core structure for you to then build and really put your own stamp on. If you want to go for it, you get 2 of them, one with the circular opening and one with a square opening. So this door here, you'll get one with a circle and one with a square there. Just a really exciting opportunity to be able to decorate these up. Now, let's go over to the lady herself, Carol, because I believe Carol's got some more ideas of things that you can do with these. Is that right, Carol?
It is. Yes, I've got one here.
Lovely.
So this is one that I've made. Obviously autumn, if you can see that, okay. Autumn themed, and then obviously opening that up, and we've got all that inside. But there's loads of scope what you can do with this, Joe. You know, same as Jan says, you know, you can embellish to your art's content, really. I mean, I've just put a large pumpkin on here, which is from the embellishments, and then just a few flowers, and the leaves, I believe, are from the embellishments as well.
Beautiful, really gorgeous, that. A really lovely way of doing it. Now, Carol, what I need you to do is, I need you to ding the bell for me. I need to see you ding it. There you go, because the haunted house has sold out, Carol. It has sold out and gone. We knew it would go quickly. We really, really did. So that has gone. I'm sorry, I'm removing it. It's gone. Congratulations if you got your hands on it. I am going to take you through the papers that we have on the show, which I was meant to get out earlier, and now I've forgotten, so that's why I'm down here. So I'll do them in the right order as well. Let me take you through firstly. Where am I going? Where would you like me, George? Here? How's there? So there we are. I'm having all sorts of bother me. I'm popping out now. There we go.
Excuse me?
My earpiece popped out. So this one here
I'm glad
is
you clarified that.
Autumn Haze. As you can see here, really gorgeous, vivid colourway. Jan, you're in a very mischievous mood today.
Oh, because it's nearly Halloween.
Love. Middle of the, oh no, leave it, Joe, leave it. Right, so that is your, that's your autumn haze. 30% of that one gone. You guys have really, are really buying into the papers now. You guys are absolutely loving them. We also have the floral harvest as well. Let me share this one with you. Again, a beautiful selection of papers. Love that you've got backgrounds as well that are all perfectly coordinated to match. It's got a real kind of almost like a watercolour-esque sort of theme to it, which is lovely. Very craftable, very usable. That is that's that one just there. Now the other one we have as well is this one, Positively Plum. Let me take you through this. Really beautiful. This is the one that you saw Jan using in that first demonstration. Absolutely beautiful. Really bold, the florals on here. I think if you want something that's going to make a bit of a statement, then this is definitely a paper pad that is going to do that for you as well. 20% of that one has sold out and gone, so you will need to be quick for that one if you want to get your hands on it. Right, the art boards, which are these ones over here. Do you want to create fabulous Halloween projects? And this is exactly what you're going to be able to do. So you're going to get 2 of the headstones in here. You get 2 of the pumpkins and 2 of the ghouly ghosts as well in there. All of that $6.99 or $10.49. I believe Carol is going to show us some more fabulous samples of these. I can't believe the price on these, Carol. They're great value, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. And that's what we're known for, Joe, as you know. We bring such fabulous projects at affordable prices.
Absolutely.
So here's the one that I've just made. So I literally made this one this morning. So using the papers, obviously, that's on the show, and then the little embellishments just to embellish here. And same with this wreath here, that's on the embellishment sheets and the words.
Amazing. So, what's the stringy stuff at the bottom, Carol?
Oh, that is, we call it, sisal or sisal.
Sisal or?
Sisal or sisal.
Sisal or sisal? Tomato.
That's right, yeah.
That's gorgeous.
I've had that on the shows before, so you have had some of that.
Oh, awesome. Absolutely great. I love them. And are they quite easy to put together, Carol?
Oh, very easy. You've only got like 3 parts of this.
Right.
You know, you've got your big bit at the back, and then your next layer, and then the next layer, and then just your base.
Oh, amazing.
It's ideal. Yeah. It's ideal.
Amazing. I love that. They are very popular. How much of the stock has gone? Half the stock has gone on these. I tell you what, Carol, we're going to have to do. I think we might have to get Jan to demonstrate these before they sell out. I'm going to be dinging my bell again for you very shortly, Carol. I'll be back to you in no time. Right, loads of people loving these. I told you she was trouble, didn't I? I did. Jan, these are great, aren't they? And something you could get everyone involved with, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think these are great. You know, like if you work with your kiddies or with the grandkiddies, honestly, I think these would be great. So to just painting them up, things like that. I've got 3 different ways to show you how you can cover them, and that's not an exhaustive list. There are tons of different things, but I thought, right, we'll go for 3 different ways of covering them. But in your kit, I'll just move that for a second. In your kit, you're going to get the pumpkin, and like Carol said, there are actually 3 pieces to this, so it's quite 3D. I mean, you could just use the flat one and then use these for something else. Absolutely. You might just want to use 2 layers and use this as an embellishment for a greeting or something like that, however you want to use them. But it was designed to build up the 3 layers to give you that sort of 3D effect on the pumpkin, and then each one comes with its own little stand so that you can make them into a proper sort of, you know, if you wanted to have these on the windowsill at Halloween or something like that, they actually stand up. If I just move that to one side and our George can show you from the front, you can see that they just stand freely inside there. Now, if you wanted to leave them like that, they are quite secure so that you could dismantle them, put them away and use them each year. Just if you wanted them to be, you know, steadfast, little bit of glue in there before you drop it into the holder, and it will become quite a nice solid decoration for you. So that one's the pumpkin. Then you also get the little ghosty, who's very, very cute. So again, if I pop him on here, and again, he's got his own stand, so they all work the same, whereby they fit into the stand so that you can make them into a proper little ornament. Okay, and then we've also got the headstone or the gravestone, which is brilliant. This is the one I'm going to demonstrate. I love this. So again, if you're wanting to actually, you know, create something that you can use at Halloween, and again, just fits in there, stands beautifully. So I'm going to show you what I've done with them, and then I'm going to show you how I've got to the finish on this one. So going back to the pumpkin, I actually just simply used paint on this one, and I've used a metallic paint. You can just see that shimmer in there. All right, just one that I'd got in my stash there, and I've literally painted all 3 layers and then just stuck them together, and then of course you've got your bottom piece, which I've just coloured in with the Spectre Noir alcoholic markers like we did if you were watching this morning. So again, I haven't done any extra decoration on these because I wanted to get through as much as I can for you on the show, but just to show you the different finishes on them, this one's actually showing you that lovely sort of painted finish if you wish. Now you could use paint on any of them. I just chose this one because I knew I'd got that nice bronzy colour in a paint. So that was the pumpkin, and then of course, you know, any MDF you can cover with paper. So for the ghosty, I've literally just found some paper in my stash that looked suitable, and again popped him face down, drew around him, cut it out, and then stuck it on, and then I've just inked a little bit round the edge with a bit of grey just to give it some definition, and then this I've just hand drawn on some black card, cut it out to give him a little face. And again I did the bottom part of this one again with the pens, so if we turn him round there you can see they all stand up beautifully. He looks very surprised, doesn't he?
He does look very surprised.
Doesn't he? I don't know what. Maybe he heard that horn as well.
Maybe he's seen a ghost.
Maybe he did.
Hey.
Maybe he's seen a ghost. And then this one, I was really, really pleased with how this one worked out, because this was my gravestone here. And if I just give that a tilt so that you can see it in the light, it's got.
I love this.
Absolutely
Rest
gorgeous.
in prettiness.
Yes. Okay, so, and again it has the base. If I just flick this round, poor George, he's like, first he's up, then he's across. There we go, look. So yeah, and on the top of it again is just the marker pen, and then I've used one of my alphabet dies just to cut the letters out there. So I'm going to show you how I got the finish on this one, because I was just thinking of different ways that you could cover the MDF, and came up with the idea of actually I've got some terrific embossing powders that will do the job for this, and I've had them on the show before, and I know some of you have bought into these, but the Cosmic Shimmer range of embossing powders have got like a mixture of particles. If I open this one up, this one was actually Stone Age.
A mixed media embossing powder. Are these the ones, Jan?
Yes, they are. They are, and I know they're not suitable for embossing things like sentiments in the traditional way that we're used to. The particles in here are way too big for that. You'll not get a fine finish. They are intended for covering more sort of mixed media items and working on canvases, working on box frames, things like that, like you've seen me do in the past. But for covering an area like this, absolutely superb. And as I say, you've got mixed elements in here, so it's meant to look like Stone Age. And I thought, well, yeah, gravestones are often made of stone, so I thought we'll give it a go, and I was really pleased. So I thought I'll show you how I've done that, and honestly it is so simple.
Can we use gilding wax on these MDF pieces, asked Evelyn?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to come to some of the other larger pieces later, whereby you can prime them with gesso, which we've also got on the show. Now if you're not familiar with this as a product, I tend to refer to it as like an undercoat. So if you're decorating at home and you're painting, you quite often put an undercoat on first to receive the paint. This works in a very similar manner, and it comes in white, comes in black. Same product, just different colours, and it's basically there to give you a surface to work on. So if you don't want to work straight onto the MDF, you can prime it with the gesso. I tend to use the white one for lighter coloured projects, the dark one, you'll see this coming up if we get to the spooky house at the end. I've used this, get a nice matte finish on it as well.
What sort of things then, Jan, would go better onto a gesso than they would go onto an MDF?
Anything will go onto your gesso, anything. Right. So you can paint on top of it, you can varnish on top of it.
Even if it was the white one, if we were going to put like a sparkle ink on here, would it be better to put a white gesso on and then use your sparkle ink over the top of that?
If it's a water-based product, I think you'd have trouble with your gesso, because it's going to give you a surface that maybe the water-based product wouldn't adhere to properly. It's more sort of mixed media when you start using things like texture pastes and your art stones, which you've seen me use when we've been doing sort of the more sort of bigger projects with the mixed media. Things if you're adding, you know, when you're adding, I know the one that I like to use it for is when we're doing mixed media and we just literally get that box of gubbins out again. You might be sticking metal embellishments on, wooden embellishments on, bits of paperwork on, bits of ribbon on. And what the gesso does, because you're working there with, like, I've got wood, metal, ribbon, fabric, whatever, each of those materials would receive another medium in a different way. So for example, if I put paint onto a button, it would react very differently than if I put paint onto something metal. So the gesso brings it all to a level state that will receive all those different mediums then. So you can work on all those metals, buttons, you know, everything, all the different bits and pieces. Apply the gesso over the top and then you can start adding colour. That can be from a spray. Sprays work really well over the gesso, and just watch this space. I'm back next week with some new sprays, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. Okay. So yeah, you know, it's a lot of it's trial and error, and that's how I've learnt. I've not been to any specific classes. You know, don't use your masterpiece. When you get the other bits, when you see later on, you'll get a grid with all the pieces in, and you get the shell left with the MDF. So for example, I'll show you what I mean. This is what I had left over from doing the spooky house. So this is what I've popped all the pieces out for the spooky house. Use these bits of MDF to test out on. You know, so try your gesso on here and see if what you want to work with works with it. Don't spoil the good bits that you actually want to work on with those products.
Tip, Jan.
Just try it. You know, I usually cut this up and put it all in a box and save it for just trying out those techniques that I'm not 100% sure whether it will work or not. So coming back to this one, I am going to work straight onto the MDF. I'm not going to prime it in any way whatsoever, and I'm going to use two products. I'm going to use our translucent ink, which is really sticky, and I'm going to use the Cosmic Shimmer embossing powder, and that's all I'm going to use on it.
Really?
That's all I've done to get that finish.
Ah, see, I thought you painted that first.
Nope, not at all. I've gone straight onto the bare MDF, and that's all we're going to do. So you want to make sure that your ink pad is a nice sticky one. I've got ink pads, especially the watermark ones, I've got them in several stages. I've got some that are nice and clean, so if I'm doing something that I don't want to get any colour into. I've got some that are a bit more grungy. I've got some that are drying out. I've got some that are really juicy. So they've all got their own purpose. So you want
what
one.
A plethora of ink.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not happy with just one of everything, Joe. But yeah, you want something that's got plenty of ink left in it, because what I'm actually going to do is pop the ink, use straight from the ink pad, direct onto that MDF, and literally just push the ink onto here. And I'm going to do it in two parts because I don't want it to dry out in the studio lights. Doing it at home, I did the whole thing in one go. But make sure you've got a really good coating. Build up that ink on there. And then I'm just going to bring in a spare piece of paper, and this is just copy paper out my printer at home, just to catch the embossing powder, and then literally sprinkle this over the top. And it looks as if you're using loads of it, but to be honest, most of it is going to go back into the pot. And you see how that's stuck to it now?
Amazing.
Stuck to the ink. So I'm going to pop that just to one side for a second.
We've got the... Are we going to use... Is the pretend heat tool coming out?
We've got the non-existent heat tool. I had to bring it today. Had to, okay? So again, whenever you heat embossing, make sure that your heat tool warms up to its full temperature first. Otherwise, not so much with the MDF, but with paper, the longer the heat's on your paper, the more the paper will warp. So make sure it gets up to temperature first. Remove rest of embossing powder, Jan, otherwise we'll melt the whole shebang.
Oh, Jan again, you're right.
I do apologise, honestly. Definitely the mushy peas. Can you hear that? I'm just going to concentrate on one area of this here, and what we're wanting to do is melt those particles in the embossing powder. So because we're going through onto the MDF, just takes a little bit longer than paper, because obviously we're working with sort of a solid area, but I can just see in the middle there where it's starting to change from that dull grey to a more of a shiny finish. So then
a lot of people probably in the States don't know what mushy peas are, Jan.
Mushy peas?
Well, I mean, they are what they say on the tin, really, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They're like a...
so, do you, yeah, I guess you
are they
have garden
marrowfat peas, I think, aren't they?
They are marrowfat peas. So
and it is a very
tin.
typically British thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they're sort of stewed and they all go into a bit of a mushy paste, don't they?
Yeah, it sounds awful, doesn't it? But they are quite tasty.
They are a bit Marmite. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah, and I know when we had them last night, I said I really shouldn't be eating these if I'm going to work tomorrow. And then
what
happened?
Mushy peas, I thought you were joking. Oh dear.
No, I wasn't.
That is an air horn, not Jan. For the
no,
record.
it wasn't me. I wouldn't dream of it. So all I'm doing is literally just chasing the embossing powder around until you can see. Now you can see there the difference between what's melted and what hasn't. So I'm just going to follow this around, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on that bottom half. And it won't matter that you've done it in two halves.
Great to see this though, Jan, because I think sometimes we don't even, well, I never would even consider that you could emboss, emboss straight onto
absolutely.
Plain or big MDF pieces like this. Because I think, we do think of heat embossing being smaller detailed areas, don't we, a lot of the time. So really great to see that you're able to do this with this. And when I did see it earlier, you showed me, I genuinely thought you'd painted it and then the spackles that you'd got on there were from the heat embossing.
The beauty of it is this particular embossing powder, as I say, has got quite large grains in it. And when you tip off the excess of the embossing powder, you often find that they will, because they're heavier, because they're bigger, they often disappear into the bit that's left over. So what I'm doing now is just grabbing some and sprinkling it over the top, and that's where you get those sort of, like Joe says, the speckles in it. There's little bits of gold in it, there's bits of grey in there, so it's meant to look, as I say, it's called Stone Age, it's meant to look like that kind of finish on it. So if you don't think there's enough in it, as I say, I'm just looking for the areas on the bit that's on the paper that's got those bigger specks in. And you can see those nice blotches on there now that are sort of golden molten. And then we're going to do exactly the same. So I would normally leave it to cool a little bit, but I've just worked from the bottom here and do the same. Make sure you've got plenty of ink, and I'm just going to come over the top of where I've got to with the last bit. It won't hurt to go over it again, but I don't want there to be a gap in the middle there. So I'm just literally overlapping it slightly and pressing that sticky ink into that MDF. Several coats of it, so I've gone over it 2 and 3 times to make sure that there's plenty of ink on there. And then again, if I bring this bit back in, we can just sprinkle the rest of it on. Pop it across there, and as I say, don't worry, you think, oh gosh, she's used it all, there's nothing left in the pot, because when we've finished, all this bit's going to go back into the pot, so you'll be surprised at how little we've actually used. So again, because that heat tool's still fairly warm, we'll go straight back in and continue to just melt that, Joe, and then I'll show you how I've added the other details to it as well.
Evelyn's saying it seems to take quite a long time to melt. Is that because you're putting it onto MDF?
It is, that's absolutely correct, yeah. Because the MDF's more solid than a piece of card or paper, it will take that little bit longer. Plus, the embossing powder is much chunkier than a normal one. So if you've got a very fine detail embossing powder, it will melt pretty much as soon as the heat touches it. But because this has got those larger particles in it, you've got to have time for that magic, that sort of alchemy to work, where you need the heat long enough for it to melt the actual particles. So yeah, it does take a little bit longer, but I think the end result is well worth it. And there are loads of different shades in these embossing powders, these mixed media ones. I'm going to use one of the darker ones if we get a chance to do the spooky house later. I'm going to use one of the darker ones to do it on there. So again, I think we're pretty good there. I'm just going to pop some of those particles back in again. I can see on my piece of paper, if I just bring this back in, you can see where some of the particles are larger than others. So I'm literally just pinching them with my fingers.
I think it might take a while to be melting, probably because your heat tool's not on, Jan. I think maybe that's what's making it take a little longer.
I'm just wafting it about just for the sake of it. So yeah, it's actually just melted all the other bits and added that gorgeous sort of, there's some white bits in it, there's some grey flecks in it, it's got those gold flecks in, absolutely beautiful. So just before we go any further while that's cooling, if we get this piece now and pop this back, you'll see how little, even though we've covered all that area, you'll just see how much, there's hardly any gone out of the pot there at all. So it only uses a small sort of percentage of your powders. They will, even though they're a small pot, they will last you quite a long time. So that one was Stone Age. We've not actually got it on the show, but they should be on the website if we've still got those in stock. So I'm just going to get rid of that extra powder that's got blown about on there. Just need that to cool a little bit, and again back in with one of the liner pens. So you know, you can use the Spectrum Noir art liners. There's lots of different manufacturers out there that make the art liners, make the fine liners. And again, I've just gone in freehand with this. Now this one is still a little bit warm, so what I'll do is I'll just go back to this one and do an extra bit on here for you. So you can see where there's actual indentations. If I put that underneath it, there's natural indentations in the side of it as if it's chipped. Yeah. So I've actually come from those indentations with the cracks, as if a little bit's chipped away and then it's cracked through the stonework. So again, if we just pop another one, let's have a look, we'll do one just in this corner. I've literally just drawn over the top of it with the pen. So just straight onto that embossing powder.
Fine liners really seem to go on absolutely anything, don't they?
Pretty much. And again, as I say, if you're not sure, try it on those scraps and see if it works first. So again, just to go inside here, and that's all I've done. Even the little spider, drew him on by hand. It's not difficult. I've just drawn a little oval for his body, 4 legs on each side, and just attached him as if he was hung on the top of the gravestone. And then the letters, the alphabet letters, are from, now then, let me think. I'm not sure if they weren't in one of the Year of Craft boxes, Joe. It's a really nice sized alphabet, and I've just used that to cut the letters out, and I cut them twice, stuck them together so that you've got a little bit of texture going on there, and then just decorated it. And then I've gone with black for the base, and again that's just been done with my alcohol marker, and you've got that facility there then to have something that you can pop. You know, I can just imagine these all lined up on the windowsill at Halloween, or if you're having a party or anything like that as a decoration. If you've got a mantelpiece top along there, and really realistic. So again, you've got that gravestone, headstone there, you've got the little ghosty there, and then we've got the pumpkin as well. So you can go on to add further embellishments on these. You know, you don't have to leave them as I've done. As I say, I just wanted to get as much in as I can. So for example, you know, the pack that we were talking about earlier that Carol had mentioned looked like this. Jan? And this was actually on one of the Dreamees shows. So it's got the sisal in it, it's got moss in it, right. And it looks great. You know, if you imagine the gravestone was coming out of the ground, a little bit of the moss around the bottom. So if we've still got this in stock, it will be on the website. If not, we can maybe have a chat to see if we can get it back in stock for the next show. Yeah,
that would be great.
So yeah, you know, like you saw the one that Carol had done where she'd used paper on it and then decorated it and added other things to it. There's limitless possibilities again for how you want to work with them. But just a bit of fun.
Yeah, really, really
Love
awesome.
Them.
$6.99, $10.49 if you want to get your hands on those. Very, very busy on those, as we knew they would be. Let's have a full recap of, well, I'm going to say it already, a full recap of what we've got left. I mean, we've had sellouts already in the first hour. Remember, the first item that Jan showed for you is this awesome try that again, box frame MDF Duo, but it has the door on here. I'm guessing if you wanted to, Jan, you could leave the door off, couldn't you?
You could just use it as a box frame, absolutely, Joe. Yeah, there's no reason why you have to put the door on it if you don't want.
70% of this has gone though already. Very, very busy. You get 2 in here, so you're going to get the square aperture and the round aperture as well, which is fantastic. We've got the layering tags available for you on the show. I think these are extra. You know, guys know how I feel about tags. I loves me a tag, and these are brilliant, because what you actually get is you get the base layer of the tag. I'll show you here on this one actually. So you get the base layer of the tag, which is this side here, and then the top layer of the tag. This one's actually been done and put together like a little sort of mini journal almost, which is amazing. But you can layer these together so you'll sort of have a recess, or you can use them separately. So you really can get lots of use out of these. You get 2 different sizes in here as well, which is fantastic. So $10.99 or $15.99 if you want to get your hands on those. Again though, 70% of these is gone. You will need to be quick for them. So you've got the solid ones, then you've got the ones with the middle missing, which obviously you can take out, and then the waste element in fact you can actually use for something else entirely if you wish as well, which is really, really cool. You get loads of value when it comes to the Dreamees items that we bring you. The next one I want to share with you is that autumn wreath, because you guys are loving it. I love the one that we've got here. in the studio. You could be putting your conkers on here, you know, even little loose elements, maybe some little mini pine cones that you want to spray would go well on here. There's just so many different things. Whether it's a general autumn wreath, whether it's a Thanksgiving wreath, whether you want to make it more Halloween, it's up to you. $7.19 or $10.79 for platinum members. Did I hear that right, Georgina? 80% gone. Could be ringing our bell for this one very, very soon. I know Carol is still with us and has got one of these. Carol, these are brilliant, aren't they? I mean, you could take this in so many different directions. Such a versatile MDF kit, this one.
Had so much fun with this. I mean, this is one that I've done the other night, and then I just inked that, gesso over the top, and inked it, and then embossing powder.
Oh, Carol, you've frozen.
Sorry.
You've frozen on me.
Oh,
I'll come back to you in a second. Oh, she's back. Here she is. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this is one that I decorated the other day, and I've just used the inks on this, and then if I can show you there, just clear embossing powder over the top.
Nice.
In typical autumn colours, you know, so you can do whatever you want with it, you know. It's when you get it, it's just got the Hello Autumn across it. So you no need to use all these embellishments if you don't want to. You could use them on something else.
Yeah, great idea. I mean, even if you were just making a conventional wreath and you wanted to use this as the base structure to build, you know, anything else on, you could use it with that and just have that lovely sentiment in there as well, couldn't you? It's very, very busy on that at the moment, Carol. 80% is gone. We're going to be ringing our bell again very soon. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to come back to you really soon, Carol. The embellishments, these are still very busy. I love these. I really like the idea as well of bringing things like MDF embellishments into your card making. So this is a very, very simple card that's been done here, but it's just got a few of those small little MDF embellishments on there, and it really gives you something quite stunning. So again here, just a few of the embellishments down here, some paper flowers, a few mats and layers, you've got something gorgeous. How about these things like your little mini chopping boards that you've got here? Again, with the pumpkins on there. There's so many different options when it comes to using them. I would definitely be going for the autumn embellishments as an extra if you're going for the wreath, because you're going to really be able to bulk it out and make something really striking. Limited stock on the autumn embellishments, so I need to let you know if they're in your basket, you need to think about checking them out, I'm afraid, because that could be the next one that goes. The art boards that you've just seen Jan demonstrating a moment ago, 70% now of the art boards has gone. So you've got your headstone in there, tombstone, headstone, what do we call it? Gravestone, that was it. Pumpkin and your ghost in there as well. Don't forget about the papers that we've got available for you as well. These are proving very busy at the moment. The first one here that you've got is your autumn haze. So you can see here, I love this. I love that it's quite warm. It's got some really lovely rich sort of browny reds in there. And I love the backgrounds too. A really good cross section of different designs as well as florals in there. The next one we've got for you, this is your floral harvest. Really nice. This one got more of a sort of maroon undertone to it, which is nice. Very classy, very grown up. And again, I think if you like to fussy cut, there's definitely some images that could be fussy cut within there. Love that you've got some faux inky backgrounds within there as well. And then finally, Positively Plum, which is that one here. You guys love this one. It again is very French, sort of lavender colours within there, and a good variation on sort of different florals as well as different styles of backgrounds within there for you as well. Now, also the delights we have available. Almost a third of these have gone. It's a very busy show. $4.99 or $7.99. Time for you, I think, to... Well, I don't know about you, Jan, but I'm on the verge of a nosebleed, so I feel like I just need a moment just to settle down, just to, bring it down a level or two, just for the sake of the blood pressure, and also give you an opportunity to check out your baskets, because you know how dire the stock situation is on some of these items. So if you've got stuff in your basket, I think now would be a great time to check it out. Whilst you do that, let's share with you some more information.
Welcome to Crafters TV, with more than 35 hours of live each week. It's home for
even the computer system's got itself in a bit of a kerfuzzle, isn't it? Computer says no, indeed. Yeah, I mean, you just have to come back and stare at me now. I'm joking. Let's see what you're saying on the old socials, shall we? Patty says, I want to be Jan when I grow up. Absolutely love her style of crafting. No, see, computer's being rude now. I was talking, computer.
Did it interrupt you then?
No, it's trying to butt in, you see. Caroline loved that embossing technique. What would be cool on that MDF for the lettering would be an engraving tool. That might be awesome.
Oh, now then, that's something I haven't tried.
How about a wood burning tool? If you had one of those, that would also be great.
Oh, what's it called when you do? Oh, somethingography, isn't it? Is it pyrography?
I tell you what, if there's an ography of pies out there, Jan, I'm your man, honestly. Pyography.
Something like that, where you burn into the wood to make the outlines, yeah.
Pyography.
Pyrography, I think it's something like that.
Because isn't pyre another word for fire?
I might be on the wrong track there, but yeah, I'm sure somebody will let us know. One of you lovely people out there will let us know.
Don't you burn things on a pyre? Isn't that a structure
pyre, isn't it?
Burn things.
Yeah.
I thought you said pyography, as in like delicious
pie.
That's
just your mind, Joe.
Honestly, if there was an ography that was made for me, it was pie, let me assure you. Patty says Autumn Blessings collection would pair nicely with the wreath. Absolutely, it would. How about actually using maybe 12 by 12 from Autumn Blessings to cover that? Or some fussy cut imagery in the bottom, or covering some of the embellishments would be great. Pyrography. P-Y-R-O-graphy. There we go. Thank you for that, Laura Jones.
That's what it was. Thank you.
Peg Sember says samples are gorgeous. Teresa's loving the paper, and that purple reminds me of aubergines, says Katie.
It's a good shade.
Or
absolutely.
What are they called if you eggplant? That's it. If you are across in the US, right? The computer it's calmed itself down now. So let me show you. Whilst you check out your basket, here's all the details of US shipping and Club Inspire.
Had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
I'm still thinking about the concept of pyography, Jan. I mean, would it be the study of pies? Would you make pie, study pie, eat pie?
Well, the research would have to be to eat them, wouldn't it? So yeah, maybe we should start a new word. Pyography.
Pyography.
You could get a pyology, couldn't you?
Pyology, yeah. That would be maybe that's the title of my autobiography. Make pie, study pie, eat pie. I did have another one, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I am in one of those moods today where I've had a bit of a funny one because I was only here for a day, and then I went home for a couple of days, and now I'm back for a couple of days, and then I'm home for a couple of days back. So I don't really know what's going on. So I feel like I feel like I'm on downtime today and we're not actually at work. I'm just sort of chilling out
It's
with my
those
mates.
recharged batteries, Joe. You obviously needed a rest. Your body was telling you needed a rest. Yeah, so having gone home.
My mouth wishes it was resting now anyway, before it gets me in trouble. We're going to go back to the reef because it is so incredibly busy at the moment. Again, just gorgeous. I love this one here that's been wrapped in a... You see how this one's been wrapped in a bit of twine, Jan?
Yep.
What a really great idea to finish it off. I think there's so many different things.
So many different ways.
Ribbon wrapped around there, I bet would look beautiful.
You've just touched on a way that that I'm going to use, Joe. We always seem to be tuned in. Even though we've not discussed it, we always seem to be tuned in on the same wavelength. So yeah, I've actually got you can see that, that's the size of my mat. My A3 glass cutting mat, and that's the size of the piece that you get for this. You're going to get that gorgeous wreath in here, obviously in MDF. I've started colouring mine to make a head start. And then you can see all the pieces. You've got bows in here. You've got a selection of leaves. You've got the pumpkins again. And then I think I've added a few little bits from that autumn collection as well. So there's a separate collection with all the autumn embellishments in, which I've added too. So literally, the MDF is just fastened together. Now, I call them tangs. I don't know whether that's the real word for them or not, and I don't know where I got it from.
Tiles?
Tangs. Tangs. Tangs.
Aren't they a band, the Tang Tangs? Oh, that's the Ting Tings. Nearly, close enough.
And literally all you have to do is just break that contact. That's what's holding them in. So what I tend to do is take, for example, one of your tools, so maybe your pokey tool, or I've got the tweezers here, and I tend to just press these where you can see where the little tangs are, and literally just press it until it pops out. And then again, I've got one of the pumpkins left there, again, just to give it, I've actually broken the seal on most of these, but just to take all the pieces out, and then this again, you've got this bit left. You can actually use this for all your practice techniques on, so don't throw that away. It will cut or it will snap if you've got a little saw. And again, I just keep it in a box so that I've got those bits to, think, oh, will this work? Let's try it on there before we go to the main item. So let's pop that bit to one side, and we'll start off with the wreath itself. So again, the pens have come out. So we've used the alcohol pens, and I've got a dark brown around the edge. I've got a lighter one in the middle, and again, for those of you that weren't watching earlier, I've just taken any of the alcohol markers. This is the Classics with the chisel tip because it works particularly well, and literally all I'm doing is going straight over the MDF. So this is just one way. You could be using paint on here. You might want to, like we've just done with the embossing powder, you could do that over the wording to make it stand about a bit better. If you bought the fluffy stuff from us, you can... The fluffy stuff, yes.
The fluffy stuff?
You saw me. Did you not see my sheep on my nativity last time I did Dreamees?
Oh,
They had the fluffy stuff. You heat it and it all fluffs up. So you might want to use something like that. There's so many different techniques. You might want to stick something to it. You might want to cover the wording in something. So again, all I've done is literally taken that pen and just added straight to the MDF the colouring on it. Now the hello part is slightly different, and again, I don't know whether we can actually get it to catch the light or not. You can see it's not as dull as the alcohol markers, so these do actually give you quite a flat finish. Now then, I've actually brought in we've got these on the show today again, the metallic inks, and they come in packs of 4. I think we've got them as singles on the website for you today.
Yeah.
So again,
buy one get one half price.
Yeah, you get a little pot of this, but my goodness, does it go a long way. There's 30 mils in each pot. There's a whole range of different, I think there's about 12 different colours. And again, you can actually see in the bottom where the mica in here has actually settled, and there's a little ball bearing inside. So it's just a case of giving it a whiz round, and I tend to go round rather than up and down. Up and down puts a lot of product in the lid. And trust me, I know this because I've done it. When you take
like
the lid off,
makeup this morning, Jan.
That was funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
I had a bit of a mishap, didn't I? I undid the.
I was just so pleased to see you, Joe.
Oh, it was. I undid my liquid foundation, shot all up my arm.
It went everywhere, didn't it? Just couldn't wait to get on your face.
Nearly had my eye out. Did you? I was wearing my glasses.
Oh dear. So yeah, just twirling it round so that ball bearing is dislodging, and you can see on that. I don't know if you can pick that up on there. There's still some mica left here, but the rest of it is actually starting to disperse into the, can you see the solid bits? Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, George. Look at that.
Nice.
And then literally just mixing it round. So again, as I say, I tend not to shake it up and down because you don't want too much of the product in the lid. It does go everywhere, trust me. And then all I've done with this, and you get a second one as well in here, so that if you want to build it up, you can actually add some depth to it. So I thought, right, first of all, I'll just show you how I arrived at this. So just pop the bubble, just paintbrush straight into the metallic. And literally this goes on, and again I found so much that works without the gesso. I always used to gesso everything when I first started using MDF, and it really isn't necessary. There is a time and place for it, but obviously if you can get away without using it, it's a step that you don't have to do. It's a bit that you don't have to wait to dry, which is great for me because I'm so impatient and want everything done instantly. Okay, but you can see how again you've got such good coverage. Now if you want the metallic to stand out a little bit more, then I would maybe recommend using the black gesso first, because the metallic elements always stand out better on a dark surface. Now I just wanted the colour, I just thought this was a terrific autumnal colour, and this one is actually aged copper. Okay, and they all come to you, as I say, as singles at the moment, so you can stock up on any of the colours. I think I've used one of the other colours in the Spooky House as well. I've done the same with the pumpkins as well. So again, you get those 3 layers, just like we were talking about when we did the art boards. If you were watching us earlier when we built this large one together, it works in just the same manner, but they're just smaller. So again, I've used that same copper on here that I've just used from the ink, and I thought, well, why not? Why can't we add some glitter? You know, so I've just added some copper glitter onto that top
is there ever a
section.
situation where you can't add glitter, Jan?
I don't think so, Joe.
Me neither.
I really don't. I think you can put glitter on absolutely anything if you wish. And then all I've done round the edge is get the old gilding wax out. You know, we've all got this in our stash. If you haven't, you should be able to find it on the website, and just coat the edges. So again, you've given it a little bit of texture and a bit of suggestion, you know, that things are not just flat. So we've got a couple of those going on, and these are from that extra art embellishment collection. So we've got a couple of pumpkins to go with. The leaves in there, I've used a selection of different things. So what I've done is I've got sort of sets of 3, so a large, a medium and a small. Now this one was the metallic ink again, and this one's the green citrine. Okay, so again, exactly the same method as we've just done with that copper one. So I did 3 of those, and then just brushed the edges with the gilding wax again. I did 3 in gold. Now I couldn't find a nice gold that I liked apart from our new, and oh my goodness, the first chance I've had to play with these.
Oh, aren't
We've
they
got
glorious?
these on the show as well, and again I will be adding another set of these to my stash, because my goodness, I've never seen such rich metallic ink in my life.
Have you got a little bit of tacky glue I can borrow, Jan?
A bit of tacky glue.
I just had a bit of an
have you got an issue over there?
Yeah,
I'll just leave it on the edge of my counter.
I was
there
trying to
for
have a
you.
swig of my tea, and I punched my reef and it went in the air by accident as I picked my tea up, and now my hello's fallen off, so I'm just autumn at the moment.
Oh my days, honestly,
I'll take
I
that
can't
over
leave you
here.
alone for 2 minutes, can I? So again, let me just, they've been shy. They don't want to come out. Here we go, look. So you get 3 in here, and you get different nibs on them, different size nibs on them. So let me just double check for you. Tells me on here, look, we've actually got a 0.7 mil, which is a really fine one. So if you're wanting to do sort of some nice writing inside your Christmas cards or something like that, you've got the perfect one for writing with. You can see there, I've not actually inked this one up yet. It's so fine, we can barely see that one. So 0.7, so less than a millimetre there. And again, it's that pump action. If you've seen us with the acrylic markers, that pump action encourages that ink to flow. Then you've also got a 3 millimetre one, which is the one that I use, and you can see that that one's actually got that gorgeous lush gold ink come through down onto the nib there. And then the third one is 4 mil. So again, you've got an even wider one. If I put you that one at the side of that one, you can just see that you've got that lovely chisel tip on that one. So if you like doing sort of calligraphy writing, anything like that, would come up beautiful. I've not even had chance, these are so new to my stash, I've not even had chance to play with the others. I just use this one for the middle. And all I've done is literally, I'll do one on the back for you. Again, straight onto the MDF and literally pump that, maybe
last, if the...
maybe not that much.
If the reefs are in your basket, check it out. It's about to sell out. There's more of you trying to get the reef than we actually have stock available.
Have you got your bell ready, Joe?
I've got my bell ready, but I can't get me hello to stick. Oh, I think it's stuck. I think we're right.
There we go. So again, pumped it a little bit fast there. I've just got a little bit of spare there. But again, that's all I've done on the leaves to actually get that lovely gold tone there. Just get rid of that bit so that we don't get covered in it. And we'll just leave that one to dry. So I've got 3 in there. I have got 3 in sort of a red tone, and I've got 3 in that coppery tone. So I just wanted to go through the autumnal colours, starting off with the green and then working through those gorgeous colour schemes there. So those are going to play a part in our wreath. So I'm going to get all these ready so that we've got all the embellishments at the ready. Don't put your finger in the wet one, Jan. Oh my days.
That's a good life lesson. Never put your finger in the wet one.
No, honestly, can't take me anywhere. And then this, I couldn't resist this one. So again, the actual bow comes in 2 parts. You get one piece that is more solid. So I've coloured that in red, and that was one of the alcohol markers. And then you get a really sort of fine one that gives it that 3D look again, which I've done with glue. Just used some of the tacky glue, smeared it over, and then added some of the fine glitter to it, so it's got a bit of a sparkle to it. So we've got our bow at the ready. What else have we got? Out of that autumn collection, you've got the cutest little acorns there. So again, I've just coloured these in, and I've added a bit of our glossy highlights to the acorns so that they've got that bit of sheen on them.
Oh, hopefully we'll be getting those back soon, because
Yeah.
I bet they're perfect for these.
Absolutely. You know, it's just a case of having a bit of fun. Look at what you've got in your stash. If you haven't got what I've used, try something that you've got on those bits of spare MDF, like I said, and see what works. That's all I do with them. And then again, in that other collection, you've got the little pine cones as well there. So we've got a bit of everything. And then what I was saying, Joe, about us thinking on the same wavelength was when I looked at this, I thought, right, I actually want something behind here. So out came the papers. And these are from, can
we just quickly go back to Carol very quickly?
Are we ready?
Yeah, Carol, is
ready?
she there? Is she standing by?
I'm here.
Oh, hang on, we can hear Carol. It's like she's sort of the voice from above, isn't it?
She is, yeah.
There she is, we can see her. Carol, I need you to ding the bell for me, please.
Are you ready?
Yeah. There you go. The autumn embellishments. The autumn embellishments have sold out, Carol. Sold out and gone. Our second sell-out. I'll be coming back to you very soon to ring my bell again, Carol, because the wreath is going the same way. Sorry about that, Jan.
That's quite all right. I did think this would happen. When I saw these products and the quality of them and what you could do with them, I did predict that we would be in trouble today. So yeah, what I've done is I took a piece of, it's actually from our A3 Centura. It was the only thing that I'd got in A3 because it was slightly bigger than A4. I suppose you could do 2 pieces and join it behind the letters if you've only got A4 cardstock. But literally drew around my frame and I've cut it out just inside. So I drew around the outside of it, cut it out just inside so that I've got that little bit of leeway when we pop it on the back there. And then the paper here, this was perfect, is from that autumn paper pad that we've got on the show for you by the Dreamees. Absolutely love that wood grain in there. So again, I've had to join it here in the middle, well, slightly off the middle, because it wasn't deep enough to cover.
I can't see it from
here. You can't see it, and by the time we've finished embellishing it, that's why I put the join here. I've matched up the lines in the wood, and literally once we've got the embellishments in, you'll not see it. So I'm actually going to pop this behind here so that we can work inside it as well as on the frame. So all I'm going to do again, all the way around the edge of this with that tacky glue, is because I've made it slightly smaller, I'm just going to run a bead of glue all the way around the inside edge if my glue decides to play ball. Let's have a look.
We're going to have to go back to Carol, I'm afraid. Sorry to pause you again. Carol, is she there standing by with her bell? Is her bell finger ready? Are you ready, Carol?
I am.
Right, ring that bell. Oh, another sellout. The wreath has gone, Carol.
The wreath's gone. Oh my
congratulations. If you got it. We'll leave the details on your screen for the paper that Jan is using while she finishes this demonstration. I'm going to have nothing left on this counter in a moment.
I know, we're going to be struggling by the end of the show, aren't we? Right, so all the way, and I've just gone around the inside edge of the wreath because this was a little bit smaller. And then I'm literally going to make sure that I want the panels going down on the wood. And literally we're going to pop this in play, and then I'm going to turn it over. Just wriggle that so that my wording here, I want this wording to be straight. And then when we turn it over, we can actually make sure that we've got even coverage there on the back. So that'll just take a couple of seconds to tack and stick down. That's the tacky glue that I've used. So if you're using anything what I refer to as mixed media, and I don't mean all singing and dancing, I mean the fact that I've got MDF and I've got cardstock, so two different mediums. In my mind, you mix in your media straight away. It doesn't have to be all singing and dancing, but because I've got those two different mediums together, that tacky glue is going to be one of the best ones to use there. So now you can see we've actually got something that's filled in rather than the hollow one, which, you know, again, different ways of doing things. And then I'm going to come back to the hot glue just for the purpose of demoing, because I think that's probably the quickest one to use. If you haven't got a hot glue gun, I would stick with the tacky glue. And the best way to use the tacky glue is to actually pop it onto the back of what you're using and just leave it for a few seconds. Leave it for the air to get to it, and it will go tacky, which is where it gets its name from, and you'll get a better stick with it. But I think just for speed, I'm actually going to go with the glue gun. So we're going to pop a couple of these. Now I can actually put them inside the wreath here because I'm going to stick them to that background. They're not heavy, so it's not going to be a problem from the point of view of it weighing down too much. And again, I'm just going to pop some of that hot glue if my glue gun's behaving. There we go. Doesn't need a lot. I don't want to make anything too heavy, but we're going to have one at a slight angle just there, and then we're going to have another one in the bottom. And then again, you know, have a play to your heart's content. You know, you can decide where you want to put all the embellishments. There's no right or wrong. You know, you decide how you want it to look. The samples that Joe showed you had got the bow at the top there. I'm actually going to go with the bow to one side here. So I'm just going to pop this. So I just want a little bit of glue on the frame here, and I'm going to go straight to the frame rather than the embellishment so that I can see where I want it to go. And it's just going to overlap a little bit there, sit on that pumpkin, and then pop that one onto there. And again, the hot glue sets pretty quickly, so I don't have to worry too much about things moving around. And then, you know, you can just decide whereabouts you want to put things. So I'm going to have a cluster of leaves here to cover up sort of some of the gaps in here. So we've got the big one there, and then I'm going to go down the sizes with the different colours. So we could go with one of the reds, and then one of the small ones we'll maybe go gold with. So again, you know, there's no right or wrong with this. Just lay it out. What I did with mine at home when I was playing with this was laid it all out before I'd coloured any of it in, and then took a photograph of it on my phone. And once you're happy with the layout, you've got that photograph to work to then, because if you're anything like me, by the time you've coloured it all in and decided what you do, right, where did I put everything? So again, look at the photo, you can see what your layout looked like and whether you were happy with it. So I'm literally just going to pop some of these along this bottom edge here. I don't want to cover the whole of the frame. I actually quite like the idea that there was going to be some gaps in it. So again, pick out those colours. So we'll go with one of the gold ones, I think, on there as well. So again, glue straight onto the frame so that you can decide where your embellishment wants to go. And then I'm going to layer these up as well. I'm going to pop one on the top. So again, just that little one in the middle there. And just a top tip, if you do, I know a lot of people don't like using the glue gun because you get those glue strands, but if that happens, wait while you've finished it all. I'm going to show you now, but wait while you've finished. Just take your heat tool very, very lightly and just waft it across the top, and it will literally melt all those little glue strands that you get. They just disappear into nothing. So when you've finished, just give it a little waft over there and it should get rid of everything for you off there. So again, I'm going to continue with some of these at this side. So I've got a lot of the heavy embellishment towards the bottom going on of this one. So again, I'm going to go with green on there, and again, sort of just tilting them in different directions so that we've got one going one way, one going the other way. Okay. And then I want to offset this at the top as well, just to balance it. So I'm actually going to pop some on this top edge just to balance it out as well. So again, we'll have one of those larger ones on the top there. And then I've got some of the little ones left to actually add in a bit more detail.
It looks absolutely gorgeous, Jan. Really, really
As I
lovely.
said, there's no right or wrong with it. You know, just have a play, set it out dry until you're happy with your layout, and then just take it from there. And then the little pine cones I was actually going to stick in here as if we've got like that little cluster coming from the top there. So again, just tuck those as if they're sort of dangling from that top part. Now I'm actually going to keep the other hello. I quite like this as it is. So if I hang on to this one, I can use that one on something else, on a card or something. We've got those. I'm going to put one of the little leaves, pop that little red one in here, like so. And then we've got the little acorns as well that we're going to sit inside. So again, one there, and I'm just sticking them to that background. It's a layer of cardstock, so the Centura Pearls 300 GSM, and then it's got the paper, the 120 GSM paper over the top. So it's quite sturdy enough to be holding these on the background. And then again, I'm going to double up the ones at the top there, just so that we've got a little bit of dimension, and one on here. But there's nothing to stop you using real elements on here. You know, we haven't got it anymore, but we used to have an evergreen hedge in the front garden.
Oh, I thought you meant here that we sold. I thought I can't remember
No,
saying
in the
evergreen
garden,
hedge.
dividing between the two, between ours and the neighbours next door. And when I worked in school, I was forever taking cuttings off that to take in and make sort of the wreaths with and things like that. I love the one that you'd got over there, Joe, that had the twine wrapped round it. That
Yes,
was really nice as
really
well.
gorgeous.
You know, if you actually bought into
I guess wrapping it in ribbon would be another great way to go as well. Some lovely satin ribbon.
Yeah, if you bought this one, when we had it on the show, one of the earlier Dreamees shows, if you bought this, you know, you could start and add a little bit of the moss and what have you to make it look a bit more realistic. There's so many different things. And then in that other collection, you've got the gorgeous little words and things in there. Again, just pop out. So I've chosen one that said harvest and one that said fall. I love this. I know over here in the UK, we tend to refer to our season as autumn, but I love the fact that you guys over in the States call it fall, because it's so descriptive as what's happening. The leaves fall, don't they? And I just think that's really nice. So again, I thought we'd pop a couple of those in. It depends again where you want them. So I'm just going to go for harvest up near the top somewhere, just to balance it out again. So we'll just go in here, preferably straight, Jan. And then I'm going to put fall in the bottom. And then again, I went through the box of gubbins. So I thought, you know, you can add to this if you wish. You know, it's entirely up to you how much you go. And like Joe said earlier, you know, how do you know when to step away? And I don't. So again, I went and had a look and found a lovely gem that's just going to fit perfectly in the centre of my ribbon there, just to highlight that one. And then I've got all sorts of little bits and pieces. I found a bag that had got the most cutest little tiny, and I think I might need my tweezers for these, the little tiny buttons, and they were all in autumn colours as well. So I thought we'd just scatter just a couple of those about, just to balance it, in nice sort of autumn colours. So whatever you've got around, you know, you might actually want to do this. It might be worth trying, I'm thinking about, you know, pressing real autumn leaves and then decorating with something like that. You can actually use the spray varnish on them when they're done. So our aerosol spray and shine, if you press real leaves and get them dry, totally dry, you can put a coating of the varnish on, and it will just sort of help preserve them if you're wanting to use them for this purpose. And then again, just that little punch, you know, just the odd little bit here and there.
How do you know when you're done, Jan?
I'm there. I've got two more bits to stick on, because I like to work in threes. So I've got 3 buttons on, and we'll go with 3 of those little flowers that are just an old paper punch that I've got there. Get rid of the strands. And again, if there's anything just lingering, just give it, and whereas normally I'd advise you to keep this still for this purpose, just give it a good waft and all those little strings will disappear. So hopefully we've not stuck it to the glass mat. And if we turn this round now for you, you've got the most gorgeous
fabulous
wreath. Bit of bling in there, bit of autumn colours in there. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous.
Really love the bling on those pumpkins.
Yep.
Really, really awesome. Just gorgeous, really, really lovely.
Fantastic.
And if you manage to get hold of the wreath before it's sold out, congratulations, it has now gone. I'm going to remind you of a couple of bits that are on the show. Well, I'm going to tell you what's left, basically. The box frame, very, very busy. This is now limited stock, the box frame. There's actually more of you trying to get a hold of the box frame than we have stock available. It's the first item that we shared with you. You get two, one with the round aperture in the front and also one with a square aperture. It's limited stock. There's more of you trying to get it than the stock available. The next people to check out will get their hands on it. The tags as well, very, very busy still. On the tags, 80% now of these have sold out and gone. I love what's been done with this one's just here. What you actually have is you have the solid side and then you have the aperture side there on the other side too. Let's actually drop back in on Carol. Carol, it's very, very busy in the show as we knew it would be. The tags, really versatile, aren't they? I love the way that you can customise them and sort of do a few different options with them.
That's right. Yeah, you got me now. If I can just show you that one, Joe. So that is like the outside one, and we've just backed that with some card. So you know that's one on its own, and then this is the solid one, which I've done obviously with the autumn items on the show. And then you have the inside one. So of each one of those, you've got three. If you know what I mean. So, you know, they are gorgeous. Let me just show you that again. I'm so proud of that. I just love that.
I would be. It looks stinking gorgeous, Carol. Really, really lovely. Very, very busy on that, guys. 80% of those have sold out and gone, so you will need to be quick for them. The other thing that's very busy, of course, is the only sort of other lead line that we have left in stock is the art boards. 80% of the art boards have gone now as well. You get the pumpkin, you get the gravestone and the ghost in there as well, remember. Really, really busy on those. I think they will go in the next... do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if absolutely all three items that I've just shared with you go in the next half an hour before the end of this show. If you do have things in your basket and you really, really want them, I would absolutely check them out, would be my advice. So let's start off, I'm back to front, so let's just turn this round. Let's start off with the papers. We'll go with the Autumn Haze first. And you'll see here, I love this because it's got a real sort of lovely rich orangey red tone running through it, but still very, very floral. My fan is very much playing havoc with my flicking, Jan. You can, nothing worse, honestly. You can see here, the gorgeous detailing you've got. I love that. I wouldn't mind that in a shirt.
Oh, that would be fab, wouldn't it?
Looks like one of Martin Parker's. Right, so you've got those there. We've also got the Floral Harvest available for you as well. Again, really lovely imagery. And I really love the variation in the B-sides on these as well. So you can see we've got some stripes and we've got more florals on the B-side. They're sort of double floral, some of these, which would be great actually if you wanted to do some sort of mixed media projects where you roll some of the pages back. Having the double florals is a really lovely one to use those for.
Joe, is the fact that there are so many of each design. Quite often in paper pads you maybe get 2 or 3 of a design, whereas you get a lovely amount here. So it means that if you're wanting to do larger projects and things like that, or if you like making mini books and stuff, you've got plenty of the designs to go at.
Yeah, absolutely. Gorgeous. It's a really good point actually. So if you want to theme something all the way through, then absolutely you can. That one there is Positively Plum that I've just shared with you. Now, the lights that we've got on the show, the Dreamees D-Lights, they are very busy. Half the stock of these has now sold out and gone, so you will need to be quick if you want to get your hands on those. Lots of love for that last demonstration. Gilmore saying the bow is exquisite. Gemma absolutely loves it. So many ideas for when theirs arrives. Barbara says, I love what you did, just beautiful. Hi, Joe. Hi, Barbara. Pat says the reef is gorgeous. Mary Pat saying gorgeous autumn reef. And Rosalind says they are nice sized tags. They are nice size tags. I do love a tag. What I also need you to do, however, is if you've got any of those 3 items that I've just shared with you in your basket, you need to check them out because you are going to miss out unless you're checking out. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that right now whilst we share with you all the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Loads of information there for you. My oh my, loads of you checking out there under that piece of video. I want to give you just a quick mention on something else. Something I know Jan used briefly in the last demonstration was the liquid inks, Spectrum Noir metallic liquid inks, 30 mils in each of these. I'm going to run quickly through this for you. So what you're going to get in here is you've got gold plate. There are buy one get one half price. Gold plate, silver ingot, antique bronze, pewter, copper, bronze, aged copper, tarnished silver, green citrine, vintage satin, antique pearl, or the rose gold. It is completely up to you. Buy one, get one half price, so make sure you buy them in their duos would be my recommendation. Lots of you still chatting away with me, still very, very busy. I know we're going to go back now to the, Jan's so desperate to do this next demonstration. The house, I know the haunted house has gone. All the bits and bobs Jan's going to be using as we go through, they are all still available, so I'll give you the details for those as we go. We'll start with the black gesso, which is on your screen now. You're in love with this house, aren't you, Jan?
Honestly, I like Halloween, I must admit. It's not something that I think in the States it's a much bigger sort of day and night.
Getting there here, isn't it?
Over here we're sort of learning to catch up, and it's been done very carefully, I would say, these days, you know, with children going out trick-or-treating, which I'm sure it's the same over there in the States. So yeah, it is growing over here, but it's something I've always liked. My girls both love anything to do with Halloween like that, anything gothic or Halloweeny. So yeah, it's always been a bit of a thing for us. So yeah, when this arrived on the doorstep, I was just like, I couldn't wait. It was the first thing I got out, first thing that I made, and I thought it was the first thing that I demonstrated. And then you guys went and bought it all, which I did predict. So I must admit, I'm really pleased that you've got it. But what we want to do now is just give you those ideas that you can use to actually work with it, using the products that we've got left. So the first thing that I'm actually going to use is that black gesso. And for the benefit of anybody that's joined us sort of more recently, we were chatting about this earlier, but the best way I can describe it is like a primer. So you can use it to bring things to sort of the same surface. So if I go back to my mixed media roots and start thinking about things that are different mediums, so for example, you may be using something wood, something metal, maybe something fabric. If you applied a colour or a paint to all those things, it would behave differently on the wood, on the metal, on the fabric. By adding the gesso gesso first and covering everything with gesso, it brings it all to the same medium for then you to bring your next layer. And you've heard me talk a lot about layers when we're doing mixed media. Now this is a different style of media, but we are mixing those mediums just the same. So I'm actually going to use the gesso as a paint basically to start off with. And I've already done some of it. So you actually get, sorry, say that again.
You're showing off now.
I'm showing off, honestly. What's it like? So I'm going to show you some of the pieces that you get. So the first piece is actually your baseboard. Now those of you that watched me a couple of Dreamees shows ago when we did that beautiful nativity scene, it's a similar kind of layout. So you've got areas where pieces fit into. All right, and I'll talk more about that as we go along. So I've literally coated that in the black gesso, and what I like about the gesso is you get a matte finish on it, and I just felt for that spooky house this was perfect. So this is just the base, and then you got the little wavy bit that's the path. So again, I thought, right, I want this to look, you know, as realistic as I can. So what I've done is I've got some of my scrap cardstock again in the grey, and I don't know if you can just see the detail on there. I've actually used one of our embossing folders to emboss it first, and it was the setting stone just to emboss the cardstock, and then again I've laid the piece of MDF onto the card, drawn round it, cut it out, and actually sanded and inked the edges just like we did. So that's going to be the base, and then the second piece you get is the actual house itself. So let me move that one so that you can see this against the mat. So I've coated both sides of this because I thought, you know, if it is going to be something that you're displaying, I wanted to do both sides. And again, I've started working on the front section here with the little bits that come with it. So the whole sheet, you actually get this piece and the base separate, along with the, I'm going to do another layer for the roof here, which I'm going to work on just now with the gesso and some embossing powder again. But then you get a second sheet that's got all these fantastic elements again. So you can see where the wavy path came from. You get the little picket fences, which we're going to colour with some of those metallic inks. You've actually got the pumpkins again. You've seen us put these together now with that 3-layer of pumpkin. We've got the little ghosty here, and again they've all come out. You can see where they've come out of the MDF here, and I've literally just coloured them up ready because it was going to take a while. You've got the window pieces. There's the space for the door that's come out here. We've also got those lovely spider webs and things like that, you know. So there's so many different bits and pieces. In fact, I think the spider webs are from the extra piece. Oh no, I'm not telling you fibs.
I mean, if you wanted to, Jan, is there anything to stop you maybe not using as many of those embellishments and using them on something like the box frame, making a Halloween box?
Absolutely. If you remember earlier on, Joe, I made that Halloween tag, and some of the pieces on that were what I hadn't used from the house.
Because you do, it's very generous. You get a lot of embellishments.
There is a lot. Every single piece of that MDF is filled. So what we're going to do to start off with, and I love these as well, these are the trees that are going to stand at the side of it. So I've done one just with the black gesso, and then I've just come in from one side with some of my silver gilding wax there, because I'll show you why I've done this in a second, but just the silver. I've literally come in just from that side. I'm going to do the same with this one with the black, and then we're going to do something slightly different to the roof here. Now I thought I might need the black gesso underneath it, but the way we did the gravestone with the embossing powder, I think I'm just going to go straight onto the MDF. So very quickly then with the gesso, just to give it a shake to mix it up, because it is water based, but it is nice and thick. And just be careful when you open it that it doesn't all shoot everywhere.
Don't want it to be like my makeup.
Oh no, we don't want another explosion. And this is where I normally get really messy. Okay, so now you can go straight onto your mat. So what I tend to do to try to preserve and not waste it is just pop a little bit onto whatever it is I'm using. And you don't need much of it. You really don't. Put the lid on, Jan. And again, just straight in with the paintbrush and just look how thick.
Put the lid on, John.
Put the lid on, Jan.
Oh, I thought you said John. I was thinking, who on earth's John?
Why?
And then I thought, is that a husband? No, husband's name's Steve.
Yeah, he is.
I thought when you were at home, you put it down and be like, put the lid on, John.
No, put the lid on, Jan.
Nothing.
Otherwise, you know what I'm like. I shall end up leaning on it and it'll be everywhere across the studio. So again, literally just with the paintbrush, and look how thick and creamy.
Really covers well, doesn't it?
It covers beautifully. It really does. It's been made for purpose. Absolutely beautiful. And again, it's made by Pebeo, which is the company that makes the gilding wax. And again, they do a lot of furniture products as well. So, you know, it's all been thought out really well. And I love products that literally do what it says on the tin. And it doesn't take long to dry. I'm only going to give it that one coat. If you want to go around the edges, you can. And look at me already. This is where it's going to go. It's maybe a good job. Maybe George knew what she was doing in leaving this well last, because I'm probably going to get the messiest doing this one. She was trying to save me, look, I can see. So just to get rid of some of that off there before we carry on. So that's how we've arrived on all that gesso. I'm just going to leave that one to dry for a little bit, and then we'll come back in with the gilding wax.
Okey-doke.
And while we're waiting for that, pop that one further along there. We'll try not to get it all over the place. I'm going to rest it on that one so it doesn't go on the desk. So what I want to do next then is have a play with that embossing powder. So anybody that wasn't watching earlier, I've actually picked one of these. These are the mixed media embossing powders by Cosmic Shimmer. We've had them on several of the shows. They are on the website, and this one's called Dark Age. So you've got that lovely mixture of flecks again in here, and you can see, and we just lift this one up, we can see that it's got black in there, but it's also got little flecks of gold and things in it. So these are much thicker particles than what you would get in a fine detail embossing powder. So they're not very good for embossing things like sentiments or anything like that. They are intended for mixed media work. Now I'm actually going to use it to cover the whole of the roof on here. So a little bit like we did the gravestone, but we're going to do it with the dark one to go with that dark spooky house. So I'm just going to grab my sheet to catch that spare embossing powder in. I've got my translucent sticky ink there. All right, so again, just straight onto the MDF, and I'm really sort of squishing it into that surface, and I'm going to go over it 2 or 3 times to make sure that there's a good layer of ink, and this is sufficient for it to stick. You might think, oh, well, how does it adhere to it? But it really does. The ink sticks to the MDF, and the crystals, the embossing crystals, will stick to the ink. So again, a couple of layers of it to make sure it's saturated in that nice sticky ink. And then you just want to grab yourself a piece of spare paper. I just use a piece of copier paper there. And again, I'm going to sprinkle that black over the top, move it about so that it's covering the whole surface. And then we're going to we'll do all this one in one go. Okay. And if there's any bits that you've missed, you can always go back in. You can actually put a second coat if you want it to be more sort of glossy. Now when we tip this off, a lot of those larger crystals do tend to sort of escape, but I'm going to pop some of those back into it like we did with that gravestone earlier. So I'm just going to put these to one side so that I've got them there to work with. I'm going to bring the heat tool in again. I'm just going to bring it up to temperature, and then once we've started melting this, we'll add some of those larger pieces back in to give those that texture again.
Every time you say melting, I think of the film The Witches. Ah, I'm melting.
I'm melting.
Was it? Oh, sorry. It's exactly in my head. Why did I think it was The Witches? Did anyone used to watch The Witches as a kid and get really freaked out by it? It's a really scary film, isn't it? The remake, not a patch on the scare factor of the original. When they start pulling all their face off, still gives me the. I know people sometimes put questions on about, you know, what was your scariest film? What left a lasting impression on you? Pinocchio for me.
Oh, what was the what? Do you know the one that did it for me? And I have never ever in my whole number of years watched it again. And it was actually and I'm just thinking of the name of it now, oh my goodness, brain goes blank. This is what happens when you get to a certain age. The Exorcist.
Right.
I can still picture her spinning her head round now.
You know when she runs down the stairs on a, you know, with
honestly,
I can do that.
Can you?
Yeah, she sort of goes down the stairs.
I only ever saw it once, and I've never
yoga
watched
I've been
it
doing.
since. It frightened the heebie-jeebies out of me, I'll tell you.
She's seen my downward dog, honestly. Yeah, for me, apparently as a child, my mum used to put Pinocchio on every day for me.
How can you be scared of
And
Pinocchio?
the bit where he gets thrown in the cage, and the bit where they're inside the whale, I used to cry, but like a lot, not like in a nice, that sad kind of, like quite a traumatic cry.
Oh,
and she still used to put it on every single day. I'm thinking,
for life.
that is, that's tantamount to child abuse almost.
It is almost, isn't it?
And that explains it all, people.
Yeah. So let us know, what was the one that did it for you?
Yeah, do let us know. Tracy,
Us know.
what's the one film oh, Tracy loves anything scary, so there's probably, you can't probably scare Tracy, I reckon. Which one? 4. Halloween 4. That's one that got Tracy. Michelle, is there one? Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
there you
a lot
go.
of those spooky ones, aren't they?
Yeah, The Hills of Eyes, the new one as later in life, was something I watched and will never watch again. I don't watch horrors, Jan, generally.
I'm not a big
enjoy
horror
being
fan.
Scared. I don't like the dark. I don't like to be surprised.
Yeah.
Don't like anything jumpy.
I'm not. No, I'm not a big horror film fan. I used to when I was younger, but nowadays I just think no. So again, I'm just going to sprinkle. I'm just looking in the pile of embossing powder that's left and just grabbing some of those larger pieces so that we can melt them into that, and they will just literally dissolve into what we've already done. But that's just given me a fantastic roof sort of texture. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll leave that as is. I think we've got all the pieces there. Pop that away, and I'm just going to leave that to dry. And like we mentioned earlier, it does take a little bit longer to melt it, because obviously we've got to get the heat all the way through to the wood, whereas with a cardstock, with it being thinner, it will happen quicker, even with these larger crystals.
Just before you do this next step, Jan, would you mind if we did the I would say card of the show, but it's creation of the show, isn't it?
Not at all.
Is that
Not
right?
at all, yep.
Lots of people talking about what scared them. Rosalind says The Birds, the 1963 original. Sarah's creation is With You, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Laura May says Willy Wonka was what scared them as a kid. And also The Shining. 2 very different films there.
Yeah.
Diana saying Silence of the Lambs for them.
Yep.
And Judy says The Wizard of Oz was the one that they found scary. There you go. I don't think Pinocchio is meant to be a horror, just, you know, as a toddler, it was quite traumatic, I think.
Right, I'm trying to think what we've actually done,
Have you lost
Joe.
one?
So what we got, we started off with the box, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Seems ages ago now. So this was the first one, all right, as far as voting's concerned.
Indeedy.
So we had that lovely one with the circle aperture in there, and I'd put my butterfly inside. So that was number 1. And then number 2, I think we went to the art boards, didn't we? So we had the pumpkin. I'll bring them onto here. And then we had the ghosty, and we had the headstone or the gravestone there. So that was number 2, project number 2.
Awesome, that's number 2.
Okay, let me just move those back again quickly. And then number 3 was that lovely wreath. So I think as far as finished projects go, and I'm gutted that my spooky house is not in there. Number 3, we had that lovely wreath going on.
Love
there.
those pumpkins.
Right.
1, 2 or 3 then is the options for you. Get voting, you've got about sort of 3 or 4 minutes. The 8x8 board, sorry, the 8x8, let me try that again. Let me get my teeth in, Jan. The 8x8 box frame, there's two left. The next 2 people that check out will get that, and then it is going to go. We will be going back to Carol to ding that bell before the end of the show. Don't you worry about that. And the art boards are also very low now as well. So if you've got either of those in your basket, think about checking them out before they do sell out. Sorry, Jan, back to you.
That's all right. All I've done is just pop this window in place. So again, these have been covered with some of the tarnished silver ink. And I'm just going to show you that actually in practice. What have I done with it there? There we go. So on the fencing here, I didn't want everything to be black, because obviously I wanted different sort of shades going on, because if everything's black, you're not going to be able to distinguish one part from the other. But these are those gorgeous metallic inks again, and I'm just going to use the tarnished silver was absolutely perfect for purpose again. So I had a little look and had a practice on some scrap pieces, and what I wanted was that sort of old-fashioned wrought iron gate look, and honestly this did the trick perfectly. So again, just with the paintbrush. If you prefer to use, you can use like a little bit of sponge to dab it on. You could even use one of the sponge applicators that we use for the inks. I just tend to use a paintbrush and a cup of water for this, because the inks are all water based. So again, just literally covering the whole thing with the ink. And then what I did with this one, because I wanted it to look sort of old, was rather than going for a smooth finish on it, once I'd got it on, I've literally gone back over it with my paintbrush and literally just dotted. I wanted to get some sort of markings in it as if it was old wrought iron. So again, you know, think about what you've got in your stash. You may have a paint that'll do this job for you. As I say, we've got the inks on offer for you today. They are really, really useful. You can do lots of things with these. If you look back through some of our shows, particularly Colour Me Happy and things like that, you can actually stamp with these inks. Again, the water-based ink, so you can do all those different techniques that we've shown you with water-based products. But it just gives you, and I've done the other one that's dry there, just gives you that look that there's actually, it looks a bit dark on there. I'll lift it up for you so that you can see what I mean. But just gives that idea that it is actually ironwork on there. So this one, if I actually just bring it a bit closer for you and tip it, you can see that it's got that sort of markings in it there. And it looks as if it's that really old sort of wrought iron railings that are going on there. So again, that's my pieces of railings at the ready. We'll just leave that bit to dry. And I think I've got pretty much everything else ready. The only thing that I've added that wasn't part of the kit, and I'm just going to get rid of that last little bit of paint off there. So
is that
again,
just water to remove
it
that
was
down?
just water. Any water-based product will clean up with water, yeah, and then of course the dirty old rag. We've not mentioned it. We're not giving it a mention today, have we? What was I just going to say then? Oh yeah, the only thing that I've added to this was once I got this going, I thought, right, I want something behind here. So again, the old circle dies came out, and these are actually sparkle pens that I've used on here. Don't you can see that shimmer on there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which again are on the website, and this was actually called Moonlight, the yellow one, and there's a little bit of silver in there as well. And just popped it on the mat, popped it up. You've seen me do loads of times, but I'm actually going to stick this behind here so that it looks as if the moon's actually shining, hence where I'd got the bit of moonlight with the silver gilding wax on the trees. I said I'd come back to that. So this one's dry now, so we can actually do the other tree. So bearing in mind that these are going to go either side, I just want to bring that gilding wax. And again, these are all products that I know a lot of you have bought, and if you haven't got them, you should be able to find them. I think we've got the gilding wax. I know last time I was here it was in stock. But I'm just going to come from one side so that it looks as if it's the moonlight that's highlighting, rather than go over the whole thing.
We do actually have the Cosmic Shimmer gilding polishes on the show.
Yep, they would do the same trick. Yep, you could use those. And again, if you're just wanting a light touch like this, you know me, I would go straight in and use the fingers.
All the waxes are in stock. If you get them all together, all 5 of them, you get an extra 20% off as well, which is awesome.
So just that little bit, just to highlight it as if there's some light coming across there. And I think that's all I wanted the wax. And I've used the gilding wax on the little spider webs as well, just to give them, so you can see we've got black. I've painted them with the black first. And then again, I've just added that little bit of gilding wax to add some sheen to them. So I think we're just about ready then to put everything together.
Awesome.
So let me pop, I'm going to need the glue, we're going to need that. I just need to get the old gilding wax off the finger now. So I'm just going to clean that off, and then we're just about ready to pop everything together, and it all just clicks together. And again, 2 options. If you want to leave it in a manner that you can take it back to pieces and put it away again, then don't add glue to this section. But if you want to make it as a proper ornament and you've got the space to keep it sort of all together, then again, wherever you've got those little tabs, you can just pop a little bit of wet glue. So I'm going to turn it round so that you guys can see from the front now, because obviously we're going to go upright, and I'll talk you through any of the bits that haven't been filled in yet. So I've stuck that last window on, but you can see in this one, all I've done there is use my metallic pens. So these are the same colour range as the inks, but I've just literally coloured in the background.
They'll go over the
here.
gesso, will they?
Yes, absolutely, awesome. Over the top, yes. So again, just looks as if the lights are on at home there. And then all the other pieces are all designed to actually fit into the gap. So you've got the little fence that clicks in the front here. You can actually pop the pieces here. Now all I'm going to do is just literally show you the idea of it, because amazing. I know we're running out of time fast. Trees in the background there.
Right, that you can pack it all back down to put it away for next year.
You can, yeah.
The thing that stops you buying an ornament like this is you think, well, where am I going to store that all year without it getting broken?
I would stick this bit over the top so that you've got the extra roof there. I would put this bit behind here so that we've got the moon shining.
Nice, love the moon.
And then you've got, you know, you've got things like the bats. So you can pop the bats in the tree there.
Incredible.
You've got the spider webs. You might want to string one of those between the tree trunk there. I've got the little gravestone as well. This can go behind here. So I know we're running out of time.
We are
fast,
indeed.
but just wanted to give you some ideas as to how to work with it. I am going to finish this off, and when I've finished it, I'll try and put a picture on my social media, Joe.
Awesome.
Yep.
What a spectacular class this has been. Thanks so much. Do you know who else we need to go and thank? Oh, Carol. She's been there with us for the whole 2 hours. Carol, can I just say, it's been absolutely lovely to have you on as a Dreamees launch day. Let's hope we get to do it all again soon, eh?
Yeah, let's hope so. I've really enjoyed it, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been so lovely to see you and get to work with you again after all this time, Carol. And I hope we don't have to wait as long for next time.
No, let's hope not.
Okay, have a brilliant day and a wonderful weekend, Carol. And we'll see you back here again really soon.
And you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So lovely to have Carol. She was on her best behaviour today.
Oh, bless
She
her.
was on her
She's
best
lovely.
behaviour because she can
is.
be
They
very.
both are.
She can be very disruptive at times. I know she looks like butter wouldn't melt. I love Carol. I've known her for a long, long time. Yeah, loads of you absolutely loving all these Dreamees products. Carol's gone. I'll have to ding the bell myself. Having to ding my own bell now. It's gone. The box has gone. The layering tags and the art boards. Sorry, just doing Mrs. Overall there, just knocking off. The macaroons. The layering tags and the art boards both still available. I'll give you the details again for them. The layering tags, these ones just here, $10.99 or $15.99 if you want to get your hands on those ones. And then of course those spooktacular art boards with these ones just over here where you get the pumpkin, the gravestone and also that ghost as well. Jan Carr, creation of the show was number 3.
Number 3 was
Which
the
was
wreath,
the wreath,
wasn't it? Yeah,
amazing.
thank you very much. Yeah.
By the way, the art boards and the tags, they are literally about to go.
Oh.
I know. It's been great, Jan.
It
Thanks
has
so
been
much.
great. I've absolutely loved it. And thank you for joining us, guys.
It's been absolutely awesome. Don't forget to check out your baskets for what we've got left, essentially. But myself, Jan, and the lovely Michelle will see you back here in 2 hours' time for Colour Me Happy. Au revoir.